Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of Tech That Doesn't Byte Cast. I am Simon, and joining me, of course, is my good friend Jeff Worden.
Hello. How's it going, buddy?
I'm doing good, man. How are you?
I am good. I am clean because I just showered, so I feel so much better about myself now.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I mean, let's explain that to our listeners and viewers that there's a heat wave going on here on the West Coast.
And there's that too, yeah.
But
not as bad as I will say Tucson is. Or even Vegas and Laughlin.
But it's the normal time of the year to be.
That is true.
For this kind of weather.
Yeah, the fact that we're hitting 100 thereabouts is actually normal for June in Los Angeles.
Mm-hmm.
It gets a little uglier as the next 2 months are going to go, but yeah. Welcome to LA weather. Yay! It's sunny now. It's hot with sunny.
Yeah,
whatever.
It's not that cracked up to be whatever. I think we lived here our entire life, so it's like nothing to us. But
yeah,
it's kind of overrated if someone as resident of someone who's been living in SoCal for their entire life, like going to the beach and all that stuff, like it gets old. Like, yeah, if you live here long enough, you probably won't do it that often, to be honest.
It does depend on what you do. I mean, if you live by the beach and you go there all the time, you're right. I can see that getting old. But if you live inland like you and I do, it's like, yeah, let's go to the beach, man. We haven't been there.
Not when it's hot because thousands of people.
Down there it'd be like 80, 85 versus 100 out here in the valley. Yeah, that's kind of a no-brainer for me. But that it could even be cooler, could be a little warmer. Totally depends. It depends on the month for that matter too. So it all
I think I'll just stick with the AC. I think I'll just stick with the AC, to be honest.
Well, I've got a couple of friends who are doing vacationing in Laughlin right now. It's like 120 over there, and there's like the river that's right there in Laughlin too. And it's like, yeah, no, we're gonna just read a book and stay in with the air conditioner. Anyway, that's a good call.
Yeah,
man, oh man.
Yeah. All right, so let's get to
it.
A couple stories for this week. So our first story is, you guys using Windows 10?
I know I'm not.
Well, Jeff is not, but
I know I'm not. But at some
Jeff
point,
is not, because he's always late to the party. But it doesn't matter.
Hey,
because Microsoft. Now they didn't really officially announce it, but they put it in their kind of like their support page,
right?
The day it was manufactured, the day it was released in the public, and then the day, the retirement day for the operating system, and they had a set date, which is going to be October 14th, 2025. No, not 2000. No, yeah.
2025 or 2025, either way you want to say it.
So this article is from The Verge and basically says Microsoft to end Windows 10 support on October 14th, 2025. Another sign that a new version of Windows is on the way, which is, we're going to get onto that as well in the next story. So Microsoft is ending support for Windows 10 on October 14th, 2025. It will mark just over 10 years since the operating system was first introduced. 10 years?
10 years. 4 years from now, let's just say right now it's 6 years old. 4 years from now it'll be 10 years old.
Yeah, so that's crazy. It's been out that long already.
Well, yes, and I guess so. But I'm just like, okay, so it's good to know that an operating system will only last 10 years, I guess, because I believe Windows 7 lasted about 9, if I look that up right. So it's like every 10 years you could just expect a new incarnation of Windows or whatever.
Yeah.
Which, it could be good and bad. But
so Microsoft reviewed the retirement date for Windows 10 in an updated support lifecycle page for the OS. The Rot reports that this is the first time Microsoft had ever described the end of support for Windows 10. It's not clear exactly when the support document was updated, but the Rot reports it only previous documented it when specific Windows 10 versions would leave support, and not the entire OS. Could be another hint that a new version of Windows is on the way. And Microsoft has been dropping lots of hints that it's ready to launch Windows 11.
Well, then I guess that kind of tips it off, doesn't it?
Yeah. The software maker is holding a special Windows event to reveal the next generation of the OS next week. And the event starts at 11 a.m. Eastern time.
That's 8 a.m. our time, in case anybody's unsure about that.
Yep.
Pacific time.
So basically, The Verge is expecting Microsoft to announce a new version of Windows with significant user interface changes and an overhaul to the Windows Store. Microsoft has been working on something codenamed Sun Valley, which the company has referred to as a sweeping visual rejuvenation of Windows. There will be many other changes as well. Yeah, so
it'll be a very short bug list that was fixed.
So basically, even though the event was supposed to happen, in June, the problem is somehow somehow it got leaked. Windows 10. It's like an actual copy of Windows 10. People actually installed it and tried it on their computers.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Windows 11 leak reveals a new user interface, a start menu, and more. So we're looking at these pictures right here. So it still kind of looks like Windows 10 from design looks, but you see like the start menu. It's like this completely different UI look. Not sure you can see that, Jeff. Can you see?
Yeah, I can see it.
Yeah. So rather than having it, how the bottom, the taskbar.
Right.
Normally it'll be on your left side because with Windows 10 and even, I don't know. You're not using Windows 10. I've used it.
I'm not, but I've dabbled. I've dabbled in it. So yeah, I know that the stuff is usually on the side and whatnot. I guess you probably could place it there. I don't even know you can customize it to be in the center or not. But either way, I'm aware that it's still on the left side, like pretty much every incarnation of Windows since its inception has been that way. So the fact that it's all centered now is such an interesting touch.
Yeah. So basically, the new Windows 11 user interface and start menu look very similar to what was originally found in Windows 10X. I guess that was supposed to be their next OS, some version of Windows 10, but I think it got scrapped. So this is all from the Verge article that I'm reading from. Right. Microsoft has been simplifying Windows for dual screen devices before canceling this project in favor of Windows 10. Visually, the biggest changes you'll notice can be found along the taskbar. Microsoft has centered the app icons here. Yep, you can see that.
Yep.
Cleaned up the tray area and included a new start button and menu. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. This updated start menu is a simplified version of what currently exists in Windows 10. So think of it this way. If you guys don't see the article yet. So if you guys are using Windows 10, the start menu, it's a bit long. It's a bit, a little bit too much, I think. But
it depends on what you put down there too. Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of. I mean, for mine, for Windows 7, I've got a long taskbar of like little programs I could just click on. If I want to jump into it.
Yeah,
a lot I don't use. I can easily remove them.
But the thing that really bugs me on Windows 10 is that part where you type in, to search something, that giant search bar right there is just too long. So now, when it looks like in Windows 11, it's just a search button, like a magnifying glass.
Right.
Doesn't tell you type in a search, that giant long search bar. I was like, makes it looks weird. That's why. So basically now you can even move the Windows 11 start menu to the left.
Oh, you say you can move it back to the left anyways.
Yeah,
great.
You can move it back to the left anyway. Well, that's
it's too weird in the middle. Let's move it to the left.
Microsoft is also using rounded corners throughout Windows 11. I feel like that's been like a trend lately for not just like Windows, but like a lot of stuff has been.
Well, Firefox itself with the floating tab. The floating tabs.
Yeah. Chrome is kind of going through this round era as well. So
yeah. Well,
like, even Microsoft Edge, it's going that round era as well. So
yeah, it's probably just a trend. It'll pass. I mean, trends come and go. Obviously, you have like logo updates and other things like that. They all kind of look like each other after a while, despite they try to differentiate themselves or update the logo. They just kind of blend into each other after a while. It's kind of dumb. And it's like, man, stick out. Try to stick out. Really do something. Rounding edges, big freaking deal, man.
Yeah, and then there's also a new snap feature on Windows 11. Yeah, so there's a lot of stuff, and I wish officially we could find a way to get this, but I don't want to do the unofficial way. No.
We'll contact our local pirate guy and we'll see what we can do. Software pirate guy, and see what we can do.
Well, we'll see. I mean, maybe. I don't know. I don't know if they ever if Microsoft ever have like kind of a
beta testing.
Yeah, for public beta testing.
I can't imagine that they don't. I mean, any software worth their metal, especially something as expansive as Windows. I mean, for sure, there's no way they couldn't actually have like actual beta testers who would be willing to, sacrifice a machine of some sort just to see how it works.
Well, I know they have developer testing.
Well, the devs, at least my limited experience with devs is that they get multiple flavors of different things to try out, and then they eventually come up with a version that should be stable enough for use after whatever testing they do. So they definitely
get the beta first, but I'm hoping
but they don't use it like say like you or I would use Windows or the masses if you prefer. What you really want to do is you want to like, okay, here's a beta of Windows 11 version, whatever you want to call it. Throw it on a machine, tell us what you think. And then you get like all these, these neckbeards that are out there going, oh yeah, I need to try out a new Windows because I don't have a life. Then they do it.
I will do it I don't see if eventually they'll have a public beta that we could try out.
I can't imagine that there probably isn't one now. It might still be an alpha at this point, but
beta, whichever. But
alpha would be like super unstable. You wouldn't want to play with that. But betas for sure, you want to get out there. I bet probably I'll just say within a year, if not maybe a little more, they'll probably have betas out there you can actually test when they've really ironed out a lot of the little kinks and whatnot.
Like I don't want to install the leak. The leak that came out.
Well, no, that's just I mean, whoever was either smart and or foolish enough, depending on your viewpoint, to leak it this early. Yeah, that's crazy. But it's a heck of a way to build a lot of buzz for it. But Windows 11 would have to be something magnificent if you wanted to get that much buzz this early and not have it dissipate in 4 years.
Yeah.
Or less for that matter.
We'll see. We'll see.
Yeah. So I don't know.
We'll have to wait for that event to occur and see what kind of stuff they'll present.
Exactly.
So everyone, you still got 4 years to, to use Windows 10.
Yay.
So 4 more years.
4 more years I'll be hearing it from my kids. You really got to update, Dad. No, I don't want to. Shut up.
Hey, you keep
I could jump a generation.
You're jumping 2 generations.
No, just 10 and 10 up to 11. If I skip 10, it's just 1 generation.
Yeah, but what if you don't install 11?
Oh, well, you see, that would just be stupid. I would be like, hey, okay, I probably need to do this now. And
you probably should, but you probably won't.
Maybe, maybe.
I mean, I think for you, workflow is more important.
Well, it is.
Yeah.
And if I update that, I'm going to be like screwed just trying to get through that learning curve and try to get my work done. I was like, God, then I got to update whatever software is compatible with Windows 10 and all that jazz.
Yeah.
What a great time that would be.
So it sounds like he's not going to upgrade.
Shut up.
Yeah.
Shut up.
Right, let's move on to our next story. Next story is about Apple and Google.
Apple and Google being investigated by the UK competition body. Boy, it's all about anti-competitive practices, monopolies of the market. Apple and Google, it's got all the makings of a great board game, Simon. That's kind of. Oh, no, wait a second. We already have one. And we still haven't learned our lesson about how bad monopolies are. Oh, my God. Okay, so the United Kingdom's Britain's Competition and Markets Authority, the CMA, has confirmed that they are investigating Apple and Google over their dominant position in the mobile phone market. The CMA is the main competition regulator in the UK, and its responsibilities include investigating markets, mergers, and breach of competition law, as well as enforcing consumer protection legislation. Basically, they're the equivalent of the American of ours Federal Trade Commission is basically what they are.
Mm-hmm.
So they try to make sure that everybody's playing fair, playing by the rules and all that. Provided, of course, that the rules are fair to consumers in the first place. So there's that. So right now, the CMA is looking into what it sees as an effective duopoly, quote unquote, which includes, but is likely not limited to, the Android and iOS operating systems, their respective app stores, and the Chrome and Safari browsers. They are concerned that the two mega corporations, Google having a net worth of $320 billion, But that's with the understanding that that Alphabet, which is its parent company, is estimated to be worth around $1.2 trillion. And Apple, having reached $2 trillion already, might be, quote, stifling competition across a range of digital markets, end quote. So part of the CMA's effort is to determine if any sort of anti-competition is occurring. They posted a questionnaire for app developers, which included questions about which app stores the developers work with and whether there are any web-based alternatives that can offer the same experience. I would imagine the other part of it they should be asking is whether it allows for, whether it gets enough market spread as well. I mean, if you're just going to the Google store, just going to the Apple store, you're not going to see these other web-based stores for your phone necessarily, just because you might not know where they are. They just don't have the marketing resources, if you will, like Google and Apple do. Currently, Apple is already under investigation by the CMA for its App Store, thinking of that, trying to determine if the corporation's demands on the app developers are anti-competitive. Google is likewise being investigated because of the proposed privacy system. Yeah, well, piracy too, but no, privacy system and how it could affect news publishers and the wider digital advertising market. No doubt this is actually referring to the quote-unquote crumbling of third-party cookies, and if you will, that we have broadcasted on our second episode of the Tech That Doesn't Byte Cast. Remember how Google was actually looking to get rid of third-party cookies, but if you subscribe to them, you get like all of their private marketing data on logged-in users. That was from our second episode of our Bytecast, and this probably is dealing with that. So now they're being investigated because of that sort of thing, or at least it's trying to see if it's more on the up and up. I don't think anything criminal is necessarily happening, but it does lock a lot of people out. And if I recall correctly, it keeps a lot of people locked into that spot. And Google's got is like 90% effective of what actual cookies do in the wild. So there's that. Yeah, right. So it's like, okay, well, we'll see. Okay, so per the CMA, both of these topics were within the scope of the new investigation, but is also much broader. And of course, what's not helping Apple in this current anti-competition is the current anti-legal battle with Epic Games, which is supposed to have a verdict by the end of the summer. So the CMA at this point has deemed that the investigation would take about a year to complete. So we'll see how all that goes with all that good stuff. And I'm just like, God, Jimmy Christmas. It's, if you're being investigated by an anti-competition body, chances are you're probably very anti-competitive or something or other. I don't know, but it's
that's true.
I don't know. True. So. I guess the real trick is if they're using their muscle, if you will, the corporate muscle to edge out the small guy, or they're beating the brow over the app developers. Obviously, that's a real problem, and that sort of thing shouldn't be happening. But I don't personally know of any other app stores that I could use with my phone. I'm sure they're out there. And I admit, I've not looked. I have no idea. So, yeah, see,
sure even you're struggling. But I don't know. It's definitely not going to be easy to install.
No.
Go through
a
lot of hoops.
Well, they talk about there being web-based alternatives as opposed to being like an actual app you could actually install and then use that as a store.
I don't know any web-based.
I don't either. And that arguably that might be part of the problem, is that they're so large and they're automatically included with your phones when you get a new phone, right? Mm-hmm. You get a new Samsung, you get or LG or whatever. Obviously not LG, but say you get a new Samsung, you get a new iPhone. They both have their own app stores. They're not bringing anybody else in. Not much different than I would say that in Windows, what was it, 95? I think when Windows 95 rolled around, it automatically came with Internet Explorer. Yeah. And you cannot uninstall it without breaking your operating system. Remember that?
Yeah, I remember.
And Microsoft got dinged for that, and rightly so. You should be able to uninstall it and not have it break your operating system. Of course, the flip side to that is, well, I'll just use Internet Explorer and just download Firefox and just solve and just never use IE and you're okay. Big freaking deal. Then you have to worry about uninstalling it, or worrying about it.
Yeah, I remember that. I remember those days.
Right.
Still,
right.
I mean, still nowadays, still people do that.
Oh yeah, there's self-included. It's how I download all my other browsers.
Exactly. So on Windows, you're probably gonna use Microsoft Edge. even though Internet Explorer is still there, but it's going to be gone very soon.
Right.
You use it to go download the browser.
Use Edge to download Chrome or whatever you feel like using.
Chrome or Firefox. And for me, on the Mac side, I use Safari to download the other browsers that I'm probably going to use more often. So,
yeah, I mean, anything else? I mean, you kind of look at what Apple and Google have done. Say just from a browser standpoint, they've put themselves in such a way. Their marketing strategy and all that has put them in such a position that they're now basically just the two of them that basically dominate the market. Yeah, they're on opposing sides because it's basically Windows versus Mac or however you want to look at it. But they but are they the sole providers of apps? Arguably no, but you try to go to some other app store, if there's one out there, and I admit I don't know of any that are out there. And hey, to any of our listeners, any of our viewers, if you know of another app store, be it for the iPhone or for Samsung or Android, I should say, let us know. I mean, I'll probably look it up later on myself, but I'm curious to know what's out there and see how good or effective they are. That might be the other part of it.
Careful what you wish for.
Yeah, I know, right? God, jeez.
Yeah.
But that's a big deal. If it's just the two of them, that almost by definition is anti-competitive just because they're the only ones there.
Yeah.
Granted, and they could just be, shuffling out the other guy because they just don't have the resources to be able to muscle their way in and get any market share. And that can be problematic. But again, that's also the nature of capitalism too, is you muscle the other guy out. But by default, you can't be the only one left. That's against the law, sort of. I say sort of because I don't know of any monopoly per se, except like in utility companies, because you can't choose your utility company necessarily. You can't just choose whether it's DWP or Edison. You have to pick. Well, you got to pick whatever's available in whatever is in your area. You're contracted to do that.
Yeah.
So it's different. So you can't. It's not like they're competing with anybody, but they're under strict regulation, and hopefully they're abiding by that. But either way, businesses obviously run in a different category here. So I don't know.
Let's see what happens.
Yeah, we'll have to see what happens.
All right. Our next story is about NFT.
Woohoo!
And this is your story, Jeff.
All right.
Right into it. Who is this guy, anyways? I don't even know.
Okay, Tim Berners-Lee. Tim Berners-Lee. I should say Sir Tim Berners-Lee. Okay, so the World Wide Web, the WWW, the interwebs, the realm of cyberspace, the information superhighway. These were some of both the long-sticking and briefly held names of what we know as the internet. The interconnected network, which is currently estimated to have a yearly network traffic of around 2 zettabytes of data. That's ZETTA. Now, to kind of give you an idea as to what a zettabyte is or what 2 zettabytes is, 2,000 exabytes, 2 million petabytes, 2 billion terabytes, 2 trillion gigabytes of traffic a year. So think of it this way. Hold it. If you got a terabyte hard drive, hold that up for a moment. And then I want you to picture having 2 billion of those. That's the network traffic yearly on the internet, or that's the estimated roughly number there. Now, as we all know, with that level of traffic, we know that it consists of cat videos, spam, and porn. That's pretty much that's what we know about that. And now, why is all that important? Well, the internet, as this might, if you can believe this, has an original source code. Remember, there was a time the internet didn't exist. I mean, you might not remember that, but I do. But the internet has.
I remember it.
Oh, you do? Okay, you remember the days of analog? Good for you. All right.
Yeah, man. I was born in the 80s, so I grew up in the 90s, and it's all analog during that time. So
still was, that's true, but the internet had started coming out around that time because
yeah, but it was more of a luxury than a necessity.
Right. It was a toy at that point, if you will.
Yeah,
right. I remember that. Okay, so the internet does have an original source code. It seems
I'm not
obvious.
that young, man.
You're always telling me how old I am. I figure, screw it, you're the baby, and I'll just leave it at that. Anyway,
I'm not that young.
Yeah, okay. All right. So that original source code, which was created in 1989, which is approximately 9,000 lines of code, all right, is going to be up for auction at Sotheby's London branch, courtesy of its original creator, Sir Tim Berners-Lee. The item, which will be, quote, the original time-stamped files containing the source code for the World Wide Web, digitally signed by Sir Tim, end quote, will be sold as an NFT. Now, an NFT is a non-fungible token, similar to how the original Nyan Cat meme thing that we had talked about earlier went for 300 Ethereum, which is a type of cybercurrency.
The other one too, the disaster house on fire.
Oh yeah. Right.
I forgot what was it called, but I know what
you're talking about. The little girl who was smiling in front of the burning house. Yeah. God, that was a
she made a lot of money on that one. So.
Oh, did she? I didn't. I got to look that up. What number that made? But in this case, the Nyan Cat, as I had reported on a previous episode of our Bytecast, went for 300 Ethereum, which at the time was around $590,000 at the time of its sale. Right. So. Now, while the bidding is going to start at $1,000 starting on June 23rd, and it's going to run
so high.
Oh God, yeah, it's going to go through for a week, all the way to June 30th. Like I said, I think I can only imagine what the price is actually going to go for. And the title of this item, I think very aptly so, is listed as "This Changed Everything." A very good title. I thought that was a very good title for it. Now, after all the bidding is done, and if you were to be the winning bidder, which means that you literally have won the internet, you will also get a digital poster of all 9,000 lines of code and a letter from Sir Tim himself. And Sotheby reports that, quote, proceeds of the auction will benefit initiatives that Berners-Lee and his wife support, end quote. So I am very curious to see how much money that the original internet is going to make. And I wonder if, God forbid, if you actually have the resources to actually buy this thing, if you would actually make your own internet with it and just see what would happen. That would be kind of interesting to see what would happen if somebody were savvy enough and had the resources to pull that off. That'd be interesting.
Ooh.
I don't know. Could be a second internet out there. Just full of cat videos, man. That's all I'm telling you.
Yeah. Well, who knows? Who knows? Technology always evolves.
On a constant basis, my friend, on a constant basis, for sure.
I agree. Sure. All right. So our next story, or more of a product thing, is anyone looking for a kind of a mid-range budget smartphone that supports 5G?
Oh, me. No, maybe.
Yeah. You?
Well, sure. Why not?
Yeah. Sure. I've seen what phone you're using, and you do need a new one.
Hey, now.
Yeah. So, OnePlus announced the Nord N200. This is kind of like not their flagship phone, but more like their mid-range budget phones.
Okay.
So they announced their Nord N200, OnePlus Nord N200. I think it's just, Nord N200. So OnePlus, right. And then there's the Nord section. You look on their website.
Right.
It will start at $240 in North America. So it's going to be available in the US and Canada. So there's no official spec yet, but everyone's just trying to look, kind of guess what it is until it's really been released, and they could really kind of dive into it. But so this article is from Ars Technica. Basically, this Nord N200 has a Snapdragon 480, the newer version of it.
All right.
With 4 gigs of RAM, a headphone jack, which is very rare.
Yeah, I know. Like I thought they got rid of it on the Apple phones, but I think Samsung's models still use them as far as I know.
Not the new ones.
Oh, well.
No.
My phone really is an antique.
Yeah.
Because I have one.
So, a micro SD slot. That's also rare nowadays.
Right.
Yeah, for flagship phones. Yeah. And more. So there's a lot more stuff it's in there. So OnePlus latest cheap phone launching in North America is the OnePlus Nord N200 5G. The phone is a follow-up to the $180 Nord N100 from last year, and with OnePlus customary yearly price increases, the N200 is up to a still dirt cheap $240.
$240.
I air quoted that because not everyone thinks $240 dirt cheap, right?
Well, that is a matter of perspective. You're right, but as opposed to like paying $1,000 for a new iPhone or something in that range for a new phone. You know what? $240 isn't bad. That's God, what 240 is about the same as like getting like a PS4 at this point. So I want to give a little perspective about that.
I have not seen a PS4 that's selling for 240 right now.
Well, maybe they go for more money. Well, no, that may be true. Well, with the PS5 it's out, you know, they can certainly go for it. I'm gonna look up a price real quick. Okay, price of PS5. Depending where you look.
So I'm gonna keep reading this article because
go for it.
Yeah, considering the $240 price tag, it sounds like you're getting a pretty capable entry level phone. The phone has a 6.49 inch 90 gigahertz 1080p display, so not 4K, but it's a $240 phone, so that's still pretty good. 4 gigs of RAM, 128 gigabytes of storage,
right,
and a 500 milliamp battery. 5,000, not 500. So if it's not 5,000, it's a crappy battery life. So 5,000, milliamp hour battery with 18-watt charging. That's good. Yep. Now pictures show a side fingerprint reader, a USB-C ports, and a headphone jack. The SoC is a Snapdragon 480, a 8 nanometer 8-core SoC with 4 ARM Cortex A76 cores and 4 A55 cores. And 4 A55 cores. Man, that's a tongue twister.
I know, right? Say that five times fast.
The phone and those specs are official today, but for some reason, OnePlus isn't releasing a full spec list. For that, leaker Evan Blast fills in the blanks. Blast says the phone will have a 2400 by 1080 LCD NFC, a micro SD slot, and a sub 6 gigahertz 5G support. So no millimeter wave. Sorry, guys, if you want those really fast speeds. Not on this phone, but you still get the sub 6 gigahertz 5G support.
Right on.
Which is expected at this price point. Blast specs also fill in the details on the rear camera lineup, which features a 13 megapixel main camera, 2 megapixel macro, and a monochrome cameras that we're going to call purely decorative. Phone manufacturers think multiple cameras are an important selling point for phones, even if the additional cameras do almost nothing. Okay.
Wow.
Yeah. So
wow, that's a little messed up. I don't know about that. That's
so the leaked specs put the phone on Android 11. The Nord N100's update policy was pretty bad. So that was last year's phone. The device got one major OS update and 2 years of semi-regular non-monthly updates. OnePlus has not said anything about improving that schedule for the N200, so we're likely getting the same policy here. Yeah, so I'm not too surprised about that. No, phones at this price range never really get good software updates.
Well, I mean, it's a budget phone, so why would it? I mean, you want to look at it that way. You're going to get what you pay for. So, you know.
Yeah, that's the unfortunate part. So, as far as the competition goes, the cutoff point for any cheap phone is $350.
Which is the price of a PS4. I just looked that up. So so you know that.
So it ain't 200. I know that for a fact.
No, you're right. But okay, I'll say for cheaper than a PS4, you can get a phone. So that's not so bad. But yeah, the PS5 I just saw like was going for like $1,000 or something really insane like that. I'm like, God, are you kidding me?
It's hard to get right now. So it's still hard to get. So the cheap phone that they're talking about, well, since that's the price of the excellent Pixel 4a with 3 years of update, think about that. You want to spend a little bit more, you just go for the Pixels. Below that, there is a place for a good $240 phone, but you get a lot more for $110 more.
Yeah, again, buyer beware, and you got to get what you pay for. Period.
The Nord N200 5G goes on sale in US and Canada on June 25th. Besides availability on OnePlus.com, T-Mobile is the exclusive wireless partner on the main service and the Metro prepaid plan as well. So I believe there will be deals. I think I saw one earlier. Trade in the device, you get this for free. Free. My air quote that.
Free is always with an asterisk, my friend. Yeah. Always with an asterisk.
But you can buy this also unlocked from Best Buy, Amazon, B&H Photos will also carry the phone. And let's look at the specs. These are the unofficial specs from a website called GSM Arena, which I use a lot, quite often to look up phone specs. So these are unofficial. And let's see. So yeah, the Snapdragon 480 5G.
Right.
Yeah. Now it's supposed to have dual SIM. We'll have to see about that because
Mm,
I don't know any phones at this price range that has dual SIM.
okay.
So we'll see about that. Again, these are, on their website, it's unofficial preliminary specifications.
Right.
So it has a micro SD slot. The Ars Technica website says it has internal memory of 128 gig to start off for storage, but they listed 64 gigs. So definitely we're gonna have to look into that.
Yeah, no, for sure.
Now I don't know if this have NFC or not. I don't think it mentioned it.
It was mentioned in the previous article there was NFC, but I'm not seeing it here.
Yeah, so
okay.
So we'll see. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm kind of curious about this phone. Because there is another phone that uses the same Snapdragon processor that was recently announced, and that is the Motorola, the Moto G5 Stylus, and that's $399,
Okay.
$400.
All right.
So, with 256 gigabytes of storage, but it uses the same processor, and it's also, I think it does not support millimeter wave. So I don't know. I mean,
that's got to explain why it's so cheap at the very least of it, because it doesn't have that wave function, if you will. So yeah, I mean that may just be part of it, but still. Oh, I did notice that they had a lot of camera lenses there. Are they all being used, or are they decorative like the other one is?
Well, they didn't say. I mean, who knows?
See, ultra wide angle and lenses captures what your eyes see and fits 4 times more in the frame compared to the standard 78-degree lens. Depth sensor. Okay. Well, I don't know.
Yeah, this is unlocked and you could buy it right now anyway. So I don't know. I mean, I feel like that $40 phone from OnePlus seems like it's going to be a big hit for people just looking for a good mid-range phone with 5G in there, because that's definitely something that people are looking for.
Right. Yeah, I mean, not everybody can afford the big new phones and all. They're even like previous generation phones. They still go for a big chunk of change and whatnot. So
big chunk.
Yeah, if you're looking to save money, you don't want to spend a lot, you just want a phone that'll actually just allow you to call somebody, this obviously would be the phones you're looking for.
Yeah. So I mean, check out the OnePlus. I mean, we're not going to say we're going to review it or not going to review it. It really depends, but
it depends whether you guys give us money.
Not just that. Just for me as personally myself, like I'm kind of like intrigued by that price point, see how it is.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it kind of fits in my budget, even our budget.
Yeah.
So we don't know yet. We'll have to see.
We'll figure it out.
We'll figure it out. We'll see, because I really do want to test it out. I really do want to test it out. So,
all right, ladies and gentlemen, you hear Simon jonesing for a phone to try out here.
Hey, we need to test more phones, man.
Well, yeah, no, there's a lot of them out there. This would be a good one to check out. That and
but we're not going to review the Moto G Stylus 5 because that's $400. So that's way out of what we could.
Like 240 isn't. I mean, come on.
It's reasonable. It's much more reasonable.
Yeah, it's $160 we're saving ourselves. You're right. That's still $160.
Yeah, whatever. But yeah, we'll figure it out. And I just think we need some good mid-range phones, and there are a lot of them now. But problem with these mid-range phones, as the article described, is that their software support is pretty. No, not that.
Yeah, obviously, OneNote here has a reputation for.
I had an old Motorola that I just recently rooted and installed Lineage OS on it.
Oh yeah,
and it just feels much faster for some odd reason than using the stock ROM that came with the actual phone.
Huh?
So I was like, really? Well, that phone I had, it's like hasn't got any updates in the past. I can't remember when was the last time I updated that phone. So I was like, you know what? I'm not getting any updates. So
well, yeah. So
I'm just gonna root
said,
this thing and install the ROMs.
You get what you pay for. If you're not going to put a lot of money into your phone, you're not going to get a lot of support. And as long as the phone just does what you needed to do and basically make a phone call, run text, nothing too fancy and whatnot, you're perfect.
Yeah,
you're
but
good.
it kind of sucks that it's like to really bring life back to an old phone, like the Android community, they have a great community to make these customized ROMs and OSs. So, but they do a better job than the actual manufacturer in supporting these things.
Oh, well,
it's ridiculous.
Well, that's how you crowdsource information. That's why you go to the community, because sometimes somebody somewhere has seen this problem and got help for it or figured it out.
Yeah.
And post it so that, even if Samsung is unwilling to help you or some other Android maker is unwilling to help you, you find these guys like, oh yeah, we got this issue over here. We found out how to fix it, or no, there's no way to fix this. Sorry, you're SOL. And that's the end of that. So, it kind of depends.
That's what's cool about the Android community. I like about that. It's like, it's more like they're trying to help you by giving these solutions so you don't have to go out and buy a brand new phone.
Right.
So it's like, thank you. Rather,
yes.
Thank you.
That is entirely true. Yeah, no, that's entirely true. That's entirely true. Absolutely.
So, I mean, no, I'm going to play around with it more, the Lineage OS thing. And I had it for a few days now. So far, it's been great. And it's just like, there are so many things that I couldn't really do on that previous one with the old ROM that I could do now on this new one. And
right on.
Yeah, it's not like the fastest thing on the world, but you know what? It was a lot faster than it was before.
An improvement, an improvement is an improvement.
Yeah,
however you look at it. So as long as the check clears, and you're good.
Well, as long as the phone is performing well.
Yep,
I'm liking it so far. It's like,
that's great.
So, yeah, back to the OnePlus, guys. This is probably a good option if you're looking for something. Second phone.
Yep.
You don't want to fork out $1,000 for like the flagship stuff. No.
Go right ahead. We don't want to hear about it. No, I'm kidding.
No, take a look at OnePlus.
Yeah. Look at OnePlus. You get it again. It obviously it depends on what your needs are. If you need a phone that's gonna, be the latest and greatest, it's gonna do all your apps, gonna do all this and this, whatever it is that you do. Yeah, the pony, then you got to pony up the money for it. But if you just need a phone, it works. You call people, keeps track of your contacts, allows you to text people. Maybe doesn't do anything particularly fancy beyond that. Not the fastest thing you're ever going to use. That might be an option.
Yeah.
And if anybody out there elects to buy one, we'd love to hear from you about that. See what your experience is with it.
Yeah, definitely. And if you don't want a smartphone, get a flip phone.
They're very secure, I hear. It's
because you can't really use much on it.
That's true.
So that's why it's
just for phone calls.
Yeah.
It's just for phone calls.
That's why it's very secure, because you can't do much on it. So
can't do much with it. Don't really hack into it. And by God, it's just for phone calls.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe the occasional text if you feel like pushing a lot of buttons trying to get around to the different letters and numbers.
We end up I'll just call you, man.
Like, just call me, man. Just solve that problem right there. Quit trying to text me.
So again, and on June 25th. Now, you don't have to buy it from T-Mobile or Metro. You can buy it through Best Buy, Amazon, or B&H Photo.
There you go.
Get it unlocked. Yes. And also, if you're gonna bring it to other carriers, definitely check with them first. Since if this is a T-Mobile exclusive, I don't know why they say exclusive. Like, it's not exclusive. I can get it at Amazon. It's true.
How exclusive is it? Well, not very, but thanks.
Yeah. Like, when I think of exclusive, it means like you can only get it through the carrier. We're not selling anywhere else.
Right.
So if you are going to get this, I'm pretty sure it'll work well on T-Mobile's network, because T-Mobile's network is they're more friendly when it comes to bringing your own device.
Mm-hmm.
I can't say that for AT&T or Verizon, because they have their own kind of like their own whitelist of tested phones that you could bring to the network that has all the functionality that's needed. And if you guys look up in Reddit about MVNOs, then you'll know what I'm talking about. So
right on.
It's that's part of the reason why I want to get this phone, to really test out not just on major carriers, but the MVNOs, to see how well they perform.
Right.
Because hey, this phone will save you money. Let's help you save more money by getting cheaper wireless plans.
Yep.
So see how that works, because if we're able to figure it out, then it's a good video to make. In other words, that I do want to make. So we'll let you know if we do get this phone.
Absolutely. Definitely. All right,
everybody. Well, thank you guys for watching and listening. If you like this video, make sure to hit that thumbs up button, subscribe, hit that bell notification so you get notified of when we go live, when you get new videos. Also, if you're listening to the podcast on your favorite podcasting app, thank you so much. Feel free to leave a review there. If you have questions, hop on over to TechThatDoesn'tByte. Byte is spelled with BYTE.com. And we have a little form. The form, or just email now?
It's just the email as far as I recall, or at least it's the Google form or something like that. Yeah, it's a Google form. There we go.
Yeah, so it's a form where you can just type in a question, leave a comment, and we look at it, and we'll definitely look at it, and sometimes we make a video,
or sometimes we'll just laugh at it. No, we're not going to do that. Well, I might.
Well, we laugh at the spam ones.
Simon won't, but I'll laugh at it because that's just what I do.
Well, we laugh at the spam ones.
Oh, the spam ones are always funny. Spam ones are always funny.
So
feel free. Thank you for calling today. No.
Yeah. So just feel free to visit our website.
Absolutely.
Leave comments, reviews. So, Jeff, you have anything else to add?
No, that's pretty much it. Like I said, like he said, like and subscribe to us on our YouTube channel. Visit us at our website. You're welcome to follow us on Twitter and on Facebook. I'm on Facebook. I know that Simon is as
Jeff.
well.
Follow Jeff.
Follow me, if you want to follow me.
We don't really update our Twitter page as much.
We're awful. We're really awful. We're really awful.
Yeah, we're really awful at it. We don't have a social media manager to do that.
Yeah, at the moment, so. And we're not hiring. But if you want to volunteer, we'd love your help. No, but if you want to follow us at TTDoesn'tByte, BYTE, that's actually our Twitter handle. We don't update that. I think we've got like all 3 tweets on there. I'm not even sure. I haven't even looked lately.
Follow Jeff.
I'm at VO Jeff Worden, and I'm also got my voiceover page, VO Jeff Worden. That's at Facebook. Simon is on there as well. You're like just Simon C, I think.
No, I'm trying to steer away from social media as much.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. No, I'm not.
You. I mean, for me, I just want to. No, I don't really
do your thing. You just want to do.
Yeah, I just want to. I don't feel like really publicly sharing everything all the time, so that's why I kind of like.
Well, that's why I have a separate page apart from my personal one. That's different. Anyways, so definitely check us out especially on our YouTube channel, and just look for Tech That Doesn't Byte, BYTE. See the blue logo, click on that. Hey, you got all our videos on there. And if you're not sure exactly how to get there, TechThatDoesn'tByte.com. Check out our tech reviews. Check out our blog. We got all listed there as well. So
absolutely. But until next time, we'll see you next week.
Later.
Bye, everyone.
Take care.